How many more hours I got on StreamYard? Because I just don't know anymore. Do I even care? Quick show, quick show. I, my world is just all the things I love. Okay. Like literally, if it doesn't have anything to do with what I love, I do not care. If it does not align with what I needed to align with, I do not care. Okay. I also have come to notice that I cannot even have the capacity to listen to something else unless it benefits me to write it about something or put it inside of something. I don't have the capacity. And because of that, I realized that I just keep aligning with what I can align with. My 2 days of rest on Monday and Tuesday. So from Wednesday to Sunday, that's the time I work the hardest. But Monday and Tuesday are my days of rest, and I just accept that. So even though I have a meeting coming up this weekend, the meeting from this weekend is not going to stop me from uh still accomplishing and doing what I need to do. You understand, and have what I need to have presented at the meeting. Okay. Um, what am I saying here? I'm saying that I was watching something today, and some things I kind of peep at it, and then some things there's some people I actually do watch, and I grew uninterested. Like my computer was being possessed by that girl that got stolen away, and she's in Scotland and all this stuff, and so my partner was like, maybe it's something for you to look into, spiritually, see what's going on with that. I was like, you're right. Is there a Scotland in such and such state? Is there a town in this state called Scotland? And I looked it up, and lo and behold, it was. And it was a small town. And I like it looked like almost a ghost town. It's like, does anybody live here? It literally looked like a ghost town. And I just got excited looking at it. And I said, damn, this would be a great place to, you know, do some work in, as far as my idea. And you see how that happened? Yeah, you see how that happened? Because I have no goddamn interest in flipping cards and doing a medium reading. I don't got no motherfucking interest in that to that capacity. I will look at the alignment of what the universe is trying to tell me about what I'm doing right now. And that's exactly what the universe did. And then on top of that, and then on top of that, I realized that my world has become more of what I love to write about and what I am writing about and what I'm doing. And when I took that course, my world is still revolved around there. My investment is still around these things. And everything that I pay my bills and all of that stuff is an investment into myself. Well, we got to pay our bills, but it's still an investment. And so I sit here and I sit back and I look. Okay. I sit back and I look. And when I sit back and I look, right, I noticed something. And I was like, the universe is beautiful. And I think you all know where I'm going to go with this. The universe is absolutely beautiful because here I was at my sister's house. And I told that story too many times. And while I was at my sister's house, I saw all the books and the recipe books that she had, and I was just aligned with it. I was just in tune and yawning and inspired by this. And I still remember that living room like the back of my hand, like inspired by this. Like I want to text my sister and be like, I just want you to know, be sitting in your living room inspired me to do more of what I'm doing. Like I want to tell her that, you know what I'm saying? Because I sat down and um after that had happened, everything happened behind it. It was my sister, and then like 3 in the morning, I found that class, and that class was like that same day, 3 in the morning, and I paid for that class, and it wasn't too much. I went to that class, I was prepared for it, and then from that, now prepared to do more work, and I got so much out of the class, and then it's more stuff, and then I got a discount for another class, and all these different things that I see, and I'm like, okay. And so the momentum keeps flowing, and I keep looking at other directors, and I met other screenwriters, and then I found a website, and I found links to different things for Black filmmakers and writers and directors, things I never even knew about. And so now I know about all these things, and I see then of course, the universe, I cross paths with someone who they've been doing what they doing since goddamn 10, 12 years ago. And I seen their channel, and I seen all the stuff they was doing and the work that they've done. And then I end up seeing them in a video on one of the academies that I found today. And I said, see, this all falls into complete alignment. Universe, frequency, vibration, laws of attraction, like we like to call it. What you focus on, you become more conscious of. Sidebar, don't want to get personal, but somebody told me, a friend of theirs, they thought that that person was going to tell them that they were with child. And I said, if that person was with child, that would be the stupidest decision that person can make. And they asked me, is that did you say that that would be the stupidest decision that they would make? I said, yes, that would have been the dumbest decision that they could have made in their life. I couldn't even hold that back. And I meant every word of it. And here's the thing, because of what I'm doing with my life and my vibration and my alignment, because of what level of what direction I'm going in my life, I don't even have time to care about people living like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I keep talking about this because whoever's out there needs to hear it, because I need you to understand that this old lady, because I'm an old lady now, I'm 40. I'm gonna be 41 next month. I'm an old lady. Um, this old lady gonna tell you to focus on yourself. You know what I found? I found Miss Shonda Rhimes herself. Y'all know I love her. Y'all know that's my idol. That is the queen. That is the empress. Okay, that is the goddess. Okay, love her. Y'all know that. Shonda Rhimes. I found the video today. Said, "Why I will never marry." And Shonda admitted. She said, I love the idea of children. I love the idea. I love having boyfriends and dating. But I do not want to be married. She said, I do not want to be married. She said, I do not want to, I just don't want nobody living in my house with me that close every day. I don't want to be married. And here I am, Shonda is damn near 60, y'all. And here I am, 40 years old. And I don't give a damn about no marriage. Do I think about it with my partner? Absolutely, I do. In my imagination, I think about it, and then whoosh, 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 it just swipes out my brain. And I come back to reality every time. But do I want to get married? No. And it's that. And it was in the comments section. It was on like, I'm 60 years old and I've never been married. I live my life free, and this is how I live my life, and I travel. I'm this age and I decided never to get married, and I'm getting my stuff, and I travel. I'm going to start traveling. Oh, it's so many people in the comment section just telling their stories. So you need to know you only feel alone in who you are because you're not around people as yourself. And because you are taking a road that is very, very less traveled. Trust me, the word, it's less traveled because of the people you're around, but then you're going to find out how more of it is traveled when you begin to be around people as yourself. And here's the thing, the people as yourself may be like how I showed you, like a Shonda Rhimes, or other filmmakers that I see out here, and they listen to their interviews and watch what they said. Excuse me, Rihanna, and looking at the work that they've put into what they have done, and how they kept going, and things, and the steps that they take, and the things that they are part of, and the networking that they've done. And your life will manifest the very same way when you do that. This is key. And I promise you, worldly things, these things that's happening out here, it ain't even going to affect your life. Trust me when I tell you. I just got a message from a family member in the inbox talking about, if you in the if you you know if you're in the system, people can run up in your house and this, that, and the third. And I turned it off. I'm like, I'm not getting in these social services systems, social services. This is, huh? What does this have to do with me? What does this have to do with me? What does this have to do with moi? Okay? And you have to ask yourself these things. You have to be honest with yourself as well. I told all of you already, and I mean it. Those of you who have been making wise choices before 2020 or after 2020 or during hit when 20, those of you who have been making wise, and who's the who even 20, those of you who have been making wise choices in your 30s to mid 30s to now, you are going to see the results of your wise choices. I promise you. Whatever whatever work you have put down, you're going to pick it back up again. Whatever idea you had that you had before and you put it down, you're going to pick it back up again. If you chose to be celibate, if you chose to get rid of people who do not serve you, if you definitely chose to be celibate, I have to put that out there again, and you chose to energetically break yourself away from people, places, and things, if you chose to read books and hone in on the craft, whatever that craft is that you're honing in on, if you chose to live and do life different in a way that benefits you, you are good. You just got to keep on going. You got to keep on with your hypnotic rhythm. I have been finding things that I did not know existed. Do y'all hear what I'm saying to you? I'm not surprised that it exists, but I have not found these things. But the reason why, and I keep saying, I know I keep kind of giving my sister credit, my sister's living room, right? Something about being in my sister's house and seeing all of those books and those recipe books, all based around cooking and baking and flour and sugar and all the little intricate details that involves writing and story, that involves cooking and honing your craft and cooking, which is the same thing that I'm doing as a writer, as a screenwriter especially. That all amplified me finding that class, amplified me. Actually, it's two other classes that I found. I found the actors class, I found the screenwriters class that's happening in a month from now, and other things, and also academies where you can go to their meetings and stuff like that. I found all of these things by honing in on my craft by realizing, okay, this is the genre that I write in, so I need to study this genre of writing. And I need to keep this style and this genre of writing going if I want to keep it going. So these little intricate things manifest us more things and more things and more people. And so this is the same thing when you decide to energetically entertain what Trump is doing, unless it's important for you to know. If you decide to get too involved in things like the girl missing and kidnapping stuff, and that, excuse me for the yawning. Let me sit up. And for that craziness, if you decide to get into that, what are you going to get out of it? Seriously. I mean, you're just going to go down a rabbit hole and know about the information. And to me, it's just like, maybe I can make this a storyline. That's all that goes in my head. And I mean, with your partner or something, maybe your partner is like talking to you about, or your friends are talking to you about it. That's fine. But what do you get out of it? Energetically, you have to let it go. So you have to take yourself, your whole being, and indulge inside of that thing that you love to do. You have to indulge inside of that thing that makes you happy. Okay? That makes you happy. Because I need you to understand, people who are not at your level or who's not vibrating with you are going to start moving out your way. I'm going to tell you a story. Don't I always have stories? And I want y'all to hear me very well when I tell y'all this. Maybe somebody out here needs to hear it. So I had a coworker that I was interested in, that we've been working together for a while. They've been there way longer than me. I think they got a good 9, 10 years at the job, but they're kind of in a different department and they end up working another shift, right? Now, I said, you know what? I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna holler. I'm gonna drop her my number, whatever. There's been like little flirts and back and forth between us. I'm gonna make this shit happen, right? Let me tell you something. And so the moment that I said that shit, which I think happened, oh yeah, that's exactly what happened, right? So I ain't see that person no more, right? I suddenly didn't see them. I didn't even notice them when they walked by. I even sneakily was like, I haven't seen such and such. Where's she been? And it was like, oh yeah, she walked by this day. I was like, okay. Gave this person now listen before I get to that part. So I eventually let it go. I was like, man, fuck it. Then I saw him again, and when I saw him, we gave each other a hug. I said, all right, okay, yeah. We kind of like it's sneaky shit, right? Anywho, it all hit me. Everything in the universe flows. Nothing interrupts it. Nothing gets in the way. There's no I see you one day, I don't. Nothing stops that flow, right? So if it was meant for me and this person to talk to each other, if it was meant for me and this person to engage like that, however it is that I want to engage, right? It would have manifested itself already. And let me tell you how much it would have manifested itself. We would have crossed paths outside of work, but we haven't. You know why we haven't? Because of frequency and vibration and lifestyle. That person does not match it. Therefore, that's why they're not in this realm with me or in my life like that. That's why they're my coworker. So I need you to apply this very same thing to your day-to-day world of the things you like to do. you will definitely thank me later for this. I don't want you to get 50, 60 years old to finally just sit around and have the capacity to sit around and focus on all the things you love to do without any interruptions. You need to do it now in your life. Okay? You need to do that shit now in your life. And you need to know that people are not worth it. This is not a Tyler Perry movie. People who are just dirt poor don't end up just getting some $1 million business by somebody. That does not happen. People who are dirt poor don't have nothing and own a car dealership. That person, excuse me, is a mechanic, doesn't suddenly just get millions and millions of dollars and owns a whole company and all that type of shit. It doesn't happen like that in real life, people. This is not a Tyler Perry movie. I'm saying all that to tell you, you accept what you see with somebody and you don't accept it no way, nowhere else or no way else. If the frequency of that person is where they are, that's the frequency of where they are. If there's somebody that's a mechanic, but they're really rich and they don't want nobody to know, you can't really trust that person anyway. Even if you were to be with them, you still can't trust them. Something about them in their lives is living double. It's not just that, because that just don't make sense. Yes, you could, somebody can have a lot of money and hide the fact that they have a lot of money. That's different. Not somebody in a movie that's like super rich or prince and shit or queen and shit like that. And then you meet them and then you find out later. Doesn't happen that way. It just doesn't. That's all storytelling. And even if it is real out there, that's not somebody that's trustworthy. None whatsoever. Okay. What else did I want to bring up to you? My world is all about what I love. Okay. I'm about to listen to this audio book while I lay down. Actually, no, it's a show I wanted to watch while I lay down. But you even make your world the things that you do. So let me just use my sister's living room as an example. I'm gonna be dragging this living room, y'all. Like I'm gonna be dragging so many topics with this living room, okay? Because that's how inspired I was. I need to tell her this. So let's take my sister's life of being a pastry chef, as well as being a chef in general, because she does know how to cook. You take her world. Number one, her dad is a chef, so she has and has always had her dad by her side to help her with what it is that she knows today. And her grandmother is very good at pastry, who gets it from her mother, who she says all the time was the best at making bread and pastries and pies and stuff. So basically, my sister has a genetic of her father's side that are bakers and chefs, but mainly bakers. So she has it very honest. And so let's just take, she's a baker. She comes from a dad who's a chef, women in the family who are bakers. And so this is what her life is, right? So we move forward in her life and we find out that um, she has her bookshelf. And so her bookshelf has different recipes. Well, that's normal, right? Different cooking recipes for different topics, right? I didn't really get into her recipe books, but I did see a lot of them. Cakes and cupcakes is the recipe book, okay? And so then we get further into her bookshelf and it goes into the details, right? So me, I'm a screenwriter, right? So I would be the screenwriter, right? And so what will be recipes? The recipes will be templates of scripts, right? So these templates of scripts will be my recipe of some kind of format or something that I can work from while writing my script, right? Now, in her case, her specialty is that she's a baker, right? She's a chef, but she's a baker. So this falls into the same line of me being a screenwriter in said drama, a said genre of drama, psychological thriller, crime. So we have three titles there: drama, which is the psychological thriller, and it's a crime story, right? It's a crime story that's a psychological thriller. So this will be the books, the recipe books, these templates, right? But the genre actually would be, like I said, it's significant topics in baking. Let's talk about flour, right? Let's talk about you see sugar. You see these different intel, these little inside topics. So I'll study psychological thriller writing. I'll study uh, the genre of crime writing, right? And all these different things. It's the same concept. And so then she has a book, and it is significantly that chocolate guy. You all know him, that makes these big everything out of chocolate, and he's just so fucking good at making shit out of chocolate. It's just that damn good. And his artistry is just impeccable. And he wears a full white chef suit. It just trips me out every time, and keeps it so clean. And so she has his book. So what would this book be representative of? It will be my screenwriting book by Robert McGee. Okay. And she had that book displayed. So that shows how much she reads that book. My screenwriting book by Robert McGee. That will be that book. And so on and so on, you know, other books and topics like writing crime stories, other books and topics as writing psychological thrillers, right? All these things will still roll on top of each other of my style of screen writing and what I do as a screen writer, correct? Okay, so I think you all follow where I'm going with this. So what begins to happen to my world? I lay down, I come home from work, shower, do what I do, brush my teeth again, whatever, maybe have a snack, maybe not, maybe do some body flushing for the day. And I say, hey, I'm either going to listen to this audiobook and take some notes, or I'm going to watch an interview and take some notes from these interviews. I'm going to get up and maybe check out these websites or check out the detective club for people who, for all these crime writers, or begin to get into the founder of this. Who is this woman and what rules does she say about crime writers? The history of writing crime. You see how it all begins. So now I begin to take my script and clean up some scenes and all of that and how I want to tell the story. And then it goes into the structure of the story. And if I want to go into more detail, I may have to teach myself grammar, proper grammar, or just how to write dialogue by a book that's just on dialogue. Do you see what I'm saying? And so these things all play a part, and then also doing the research of who I get my information from in these books, these interviews, and such. I need you all to hear me out, because what happens now when you go to work, your life at work will just be that, and you'll be so detached from work. You'll be so detached from the drama at work and whatever going on at work that your world still lines up with the very thing that you do. You might even find yourself at work talking about movies and acting and TV shows and stuff. Today, my brother put me on to a psychological thriller horror writer. I said, "Oh shit, okay." And I checked her out, and she actually one of her books I even showed him. I said, "Oh yeah, it got adapted to a film." And um, this person actually, my cousin, not it was my brother. He was telling me how much his wife reads this particular author and how she's on something, and even the book, even the show that I said that got adapted from the book, got adapted to a show from the book. He's like, "Oh, she's reading that book right now." You see how that's all alignment? And I even heard of the woman's name. I was like, I know this name. Why do I know this woman's name? I know her name. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think that ah, I just want you all to stay focused on what it is that you love to do. Okay? And this is only the beginning. Don't, I know it sucks. You want to travel, you got a travel ban going on. Everybody wants to go to the Caribbean. Everybody's going to Jamaica right now for some reason. Everybody's just happening for some reason. Everybody's going to Jamaica this year. No, thank you. I don't want to go nowhere and go on a boat to be around a bunch of yardies. I'm good. Um, but these are the best times, and it's always the best time to make sure you have yourself together to do what you need to do for yourself in your life. These are the best times to do it, my love. These are the best times to pay attention to what you want and what you need for your life and make wise decisions doing it. These are the best times. And for those of you in the 40 club, baby, I'm guilty of this, but this is the time to make sure you get your health together and focus on your health. I'm guilty of this. I ain't gonna hold you. These are the times that you do start that business or make a way of starting something or networking different or having a different way that you have people in your life. If you didn't, but you see, you have to already have learned that in your 30s when you hit 40. You have to really have already learned that in your 30s when you hit 40. Okay. Like it has to, already be inside you. Like, damn, I was already doing this, but now I'm really doing it. And so for the 40 club, we just don't have time for anything that just we don't have time for. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all, um, I'm gonna leave it here. I'm about to go get back to this interview.